Ciao ragazzi! Today I'm going to show you how to use greetings in Italian correctly. For example, when to use ciao versus when to use other greetings like buongiorno. Now, many students always say ciao to greet people in Italy. So, for example, they will say ciao to anyone like the taxi driver or the waiter at the restaurant or the stranger at the train station. The problem is that in Italian, ciao is not appropriate in most of those cases and might make you sound rude and incorrect. But why is this mistake so common? Well, there are essentially two reasons. Number one, numero uno, ciao is the most common, the most known Italian word. So all learners use that all the time. And numero due, number two, in English, there's not such a strict difference between formal and informal greetings. So this is something that you may not expect to exist in Italian either. So, for example, if you get into a shop, let's say in the US, it can be totally fine whether you say hello or hi. But if you get into a shop in Italy and you just say ciao, you might be immediately perceived as too informal or immediately marked as a tourist. So, in Italian, it is essential to pick a different greeting based on the actual context you're in. So, in formal situations, you need to use formal greetings. And in informal situations, you will use more informal ones. And that's exactly what we Italians do all the time. So let me show you how it works. If you are in a more formal context, such, for example, with strangers or at work or in a business environment, like, for example, speaking with the concierge at your hotel in Italy, or with a hostess on the plane, or with a waiter at the restaurant, in all those cases, you need formal greetings. And I'm talking of greetings like these ones. Salve, salve. Salve means hello and is a formal way of saying that. So it's better to use salve rather than ciao in this context. You do need to use something like that. And if you want to say goodbye in a formal context, you can use this one. Arrivederci. Arrivederci. So remember, for formal greetings in formal contexts, you can use salve for hello and arrivederci for goodbye. In any informal context, and that means with family and friends, that's when it's perfectly okay, it's perfectly correct to use ciao. So ciao is for informal contexts only. By the way, have you ever used ciao in any of those more formal contexts and maybe noticed a strange reaction in Italian people? Let me know in the comments. I love to hear from you. Okay, now just another couple of examples that show you how important this is in Italian. Let's suppose you are leaving a place, and here are two more ways to say goodbye depending on the context. So let's suppose you are in a formal context. You can use these. Let's take a little bit more space. Buona giornata. Buona giornata. And that in Italian means have a good day. So when you leave a place in a formal context, if you want, you can also use this. Buona giornata. If instead you're leaving a place and you're in an informal context, you can use this other one. Ci vediamo. Ci vediamo. That means see you. And that's what we use when we're leaving a place and we are in an informal relationship. So both of these are very much used by native Italian speakers. We would not really use buona giornata with family or friends. That would be a tad bit too formal. nor we would use ci vediamo with strangers because that would be perceived as too informal. And by the way, if you want to see more of this rule in action, please check out the PDF I prepared for this video. In the PDF, you will find a helpful recap of this important difference with Italian greetings, plus more examples like the ones that I showed you today. If you want to get the PDF, you can immediately download it. You can find the link to download it in the description below this video, and it's free. Now, something else that I want to share with you. If you ever feel in doubt about the situation and what greeting to use, which can happen, here's my final tip for you. Use these two ones. Use buongiorno or buonasera. So use buongiorno for the day and buonasera starting in the afternoon. So buongiorno means good day, good morning, and buonasera means good evening. And they are a great middle ground. They are more formal than using ciao, but they are not as stiff, as rigid as using salve. So if you use them, if you use buongiorno and buonasera, you will always sound very kind and respectful, even with strangers. So remember, formal greetings with strangers and informal with family and friends. And that's all for today. È tutto per oggi. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao da Valentina.